Jake, can you talk a little bit about what the different qualities that distinguish each of the three guys behind you?
Well, Jokel's probably the most experienced out of the whole deal. He's a big kid, not the most mobile guy, so you'd probably call the game a little different. Um, not if differently than with Johnny in the game than him. Kenny Hill, he's young. You can tell. I give a lot of credit to the South Lake Carroll coaches because you can tell that he's been pretty experienced in running this type of offense. So he's still going through the learning curve. So I'm trying to give him as many reps as possible because Matt and both Matts went through spring ball as well. So I know what they're capable of doing. So I'm trying to put Kenny Hill through this. Matt Davis. Same as Jokel, they can communicate and operate the offense the best so far because they're over the learning curve and it's in year 2 of the offense. You got to go down the execution, trying to give him as many reps as well. So, they're all three open right now, and probably at the end of this week we'll start making more decisions.
Coach, looking back, how important was it to keep Kenny Hill committed? I know he was a guy that you worked really hard to keep secure.
I was very committed into keeping him committed. We knew that Cole Stewart was going to be a very high draft pick, so that's always doubtful. I'm always big on bringing in one quarterback because majority of the time when both quarterbacks compete, one beats out the other and the other one transfers out, so you're back to ground zero with it. So it was very important for me. I actually offered Kenny when I was at West Virginia, and he kind of laughed at me when I pulled that trigger on him, but I'm glad that he's here and he's on our side.
You talk about the South Lake staff. What aspects about his game do you feel like translate to the college level quickly, better, maybe the other two?
He's very discreet with everything he does. A lot of guys that actually huddle in high school, they're very loud with, telling the play to the offensive line and signaling it out to the receivers. It's very obvious. And Kenny's very discreet with how he handles all this stuff. And he kind of knows where the huddle's going, and he gets your eyes on you once the play's in progress, so he can keep the tempo of the game up as well. So, you can tell he's been coached very good through high school.
When it comes to Johnny, obviously so much has been said about him off the field, but his demeanor out there, have you noticed anything different from spring, or has he been dealing with it any differently than he was before his name was out?
No, I think he's got a chip on his shoulder right now. He comes to work every day. I think he's very excited for the season. The thing that I'm most impressed with him right now is he's more focused on the receivers, and he's out there coaching as well. He's running with the ones. He's looking good. I'm excited to see what he can do this year, but I'm very impressed with how he's handling with coaching the receivers, and he's trying to get things the way he wants it out there.
What are some of the aspects of his game that have gotten better over the offseason?
His pocket presence. That's what we focused on throughout the spring because we know what Johnny can do when he's outside the pocket running the ball. And, that's the thing. I try not to let him scramble in practice, which he gets frustrated at times, and you'll see some pretty wild plays out there. But, he's been staying in the pocket, and he's been going through his progressions, and I think it's making him a better pocket passer.
Coach, have you seen any noticeable changes to Matt Davis since the spring until fall camp, especially working with Kevin Murray?
He had a good off season. He's been throwing the ball pretty well out there. I still can't really tell much. We're going to get into a lot more live situations. This is a big week for all three quarterbacks. And like I said earlier, once we get through this week, we're going to start cutting some things down.
A couple more.
I mean, has anything about Johnny's game really surprised you that you couldn't see on TV when you were in West Virginia last year?
I watched a lot of their tape because I traded with Cliff all the time. We were going through cut-ups today, and we noticed that he scrambled a ton, I wasn't surprised or shocked with anything. The offense still is the same. It's just you got a quarterback that can make a lot of plays with his feet.
Anytime it was unnecessary that he scrambled because he was young and
Yeah.
just getting out of the way?
Yeah, and that's just part of it. That's year 1. This is year 2, so he's gone through about every look he can do. So, he's better at that aspect because right now he can just focus on trying to get us in the best looks as possible.
You've been working in this offense for pretty much your career, and Coach McKinney obviously has been working on it since he's been with us. How much has it evolved over the last 4 or 5 years?
It evolves every year, and that's something that you just try as a coach to keep evolving. And I bet you Cliff is doing different things right now at Texas Tech. They're doing different things at West Virginia. We're all trying to find new ways to keep the game going.
How easy has you and Johnny's relationship kind of evolved? Is you being so young, is that helpful?
Yeah, I'm not much of a yeller out there. I'm more of because if a quarterback screws up, the whole stadium and all the media knows that he screwed up. So I try to just just talk with him through everything and see what he's seeing, and and I'll tell him what I think, and he tells me what he thinks about certain things, and we just try to work it out through there.
Would you say he's still coachable?
Yes, he's very coachable. He's a very smart kid. He can actually take, when you tell him one thing, he can go out there and remember to do that and execute it out there.
Any of the incoming freshman receivers or any of the guys that haven't contributed a whole lot that have stood out to you so far?
They're all getting better and they're getting through that learning curve, but I think LaQuiviante and Ricky Seals and Taboyo, I think all three of those have been showing good. They've all been playing well. I think we're going to play a lot of them.